This is Romuald Strelchik's latest baby. He's been tinkering away on his remote-controlled tractor for 18 months. The main problem is getting the miniature version to replicate the movements of its big brother out in the fields. But the developer had little space in which to accommodate the various cogs and wheels.
You're presented with the same sight every day, and then you have to rework tiny details. Some days you get fed up and want to do something else. But after a year and a half, you finally finish the work. You're glad to be done and to be able to go into a shop and say, "Look, I made that one."
All that effort comes at a price. In this case, around 230 euros. Thomas Kalkul will be presenting it at trade fairs. As head of marketing, he places great value on relations with car makers. They supply him with the original construction plans, from tractors to passenger cars. He's even allowed to take photos of secret prototypes in order to build replicas.
From our experience, manufacturers are generally happy to see what they view as a marketing instrument. For us, it's a product we offer to children, but car manufacturers also see it as a tool with which to boost the brand's name among children.
It all began with this fire truck in 1951. 3 years later, the company launched its first bestseller. Since then, Siku has been focusing on German passenger cars. Children can play with the same models their parents drive. The cars are made of zinc. Each component requires its own die-cast mold. The more complicated models contain up to 100 parts, which are assembled later in Poland, mostly by hand. The company decided to cut costs by moving certain operations out of Germany. The workforce in Lüdenscheid has shrunk drastically in recent years to just 180 today. 2/3 of production is done outside Germany. The company has now also outsourced work to China. The toolmakers, at least, don't have to worry about losing their jobs. They and the developers have the knowledge the company needs. Thanks to modern technology, the molds they make can also be made in Germany at a reasonable cost. This car transporter is scheduled to go into production soon. The toolmakers are giving the finishing touches to the mold for the loading ramp. But the replica will actually be put together in China.
I'd rather keep the tool here and do the injecting and finishing. But unfortunately, for cost reasons, it's not possible to have production here.
But quality control is still performed in Germany, mainly because of the stringent requirements for toys in Europe and the United States. Even the cheapest model, costing €1.99, has to be put through its paces, which includes a 100-hour endurance test.
They're random tests. We normally take 3 from the current production batch. That gives us a pretty good idea of how the vehicles are overall.
Just like their full-sized counterparts, these vehicles, made in Germany, also sell well abroad. Almost half of sales are to customers outside the country, with Asia becoming a growing market. And while German automobiles continue to remain in demand worldwide, so do their miniature counterparts.